Hey guys, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and turn on the notifications if you want to see more videos and walkthroughs from the EHG community. Thank you very much. What is up, everybody? It's Nico from the EHG community coming back with another EHG podcast episode, and today we're going to be interviewing an amazing YouTuber. If you look at any type of content when it comes to Overwatch, this is a YouTuber that is very, very famous in the Overwatch community, and especially he is one of my favorite YouTubers, especially on the YouTube platform. I would like everybody to go ahead and to give a big welcome to OG Pure, and with that, by all means, go ahead and follow him on, his Twitter, which is at OG_Pure. Follow him at twitch.tv OG Pure, and also make a nice subscribe to his YouTube channel, which is OG Pure as well. Turn on the notifications to get any type of notifications for his new videos, or for when you get any type of information on, like future streams or anything else. And by all means, join his Discord channel until you can go ahead and get more notifications on upcoming videos for the future. Pure, first of all, I'm very excited. Thank you very much for taking time out of your schedule to come in for this interview. I'm very, very grateful to you, especially with everything that you explained, the college life, and other things on the side. I appreciate you 100% for that.
I appreciate you having me. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Especially if you see, I sent you a couple of my own videos, and I because of what you bring up for your content, it's exactly why some of my videos especially exist when it comes to Overwatch. So I appreciate you for being the inspiration for those videos. So thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much on that. So I want to get into this because I know you play a lot of Overwatch. Your Overwatch is one of your main contents for your channel.
Yeah, it's definitely my go-to, my bread and butter.
Yeah, but I just want to know, besides that, what was it that got you mostly into gaming? What was it that got OG Pure to be a gamer in the first place?
I mean, I always played little games here and there, like on the Wii, on the DS, just kind of casual stuff, just for fun. And I never got super into it until some point in middle school when my friend started introducing me to the original Xbox, and I think the first game I played on there was Halo 2. Their Halo 2 are one of the original Call of Duties, and from there, that's when I just kind of fell in love with it as a concept and as a genre, and that's when I really kind of dove into it, and it was too late to turn back, and I just got obsessed with it in every form.
And that's interesting, especially I love Halo 2. Halo 2 is a really, really fun game to get into.
Yeah, amazing game.
Especially when I first started, it was on the original Xbox as well. But I'm assuming that's your first console or your first video game. But if not, what was your first console or your first video game?
I think my official first one probably would have been the original Nintendo DS, either that or the Wii. I don't remember which one I got first, but it was around the same time, and it was just for playing. I think it was probably the Wii, playing Smash, one of the older Smash ones on there, some of the old Pokemon games, and a lot of Nintendo stuff, basically. Yeah, Mario. I forget which Mario game was out at the time, but anything Nintendo I liked as a kid, and I still like.
Okay, that's awesome. Especially the Wii is was one of my favorite systems as well, especially with Smash, and then the Zelda Twilight Princess, especially with the motion controls. But we're both content creators, especially for gaming. And I think just being a gaming content creator, it's a weird career for us because it ends up being something that we enjoy, but some things we encounter that is off the rails. But but what made you want to become what made you want to start a career as a content creator? What was the reason why you did it, and when did you start doing it? Because I know you have videos that predate towards 3 years ago. So when did you start doing it, and why?
So I mean, I don't think there was ever one particular thing that made me definitely decide to do it, but it's just once I was old enough to start using the internet, I kind of immediately went to YouTube and to that genre, and I just got hooked on watching other people playing games and seeing both their skill and just their entertainment. And at some point I kind of realized, hey, these people aren't technically anything special. Anybody can do this. Why don't I try doing this? And I jumped into it. I think on my current channel, I think my oldest video is probably I think older than 3 years. I don't know how old exactly, maybe 4 or 5. But I had a channel way before that where I posted, I don't even know the name, but it would have been probably 10 years ago at this point, custom Lego figures I would make. And this was like, me recording stuff on my phone with a zero editing whatsoever, just because I also was big into Legos and stuff and watched Lego YouTubers and wanted to emulate that. And I think at that point I realized, okay, this isn't for me. But then once I got more into the gaming side, I realized, okay, maybe this is something I actually could do long term.
That's actually pretty cool. Especially I love like Lego figures. Especially I was a big fan of the Lego video games.
Of course, yeah, that was definitely, yeah,
Yeah,
those are great.
yeah. Lego Star Wars was my first ever Lego video game, and I loved it with it like a passion. And
Yeah, the DC superheroes, they were all so much fun.
yes, Lego Batman was great.
Yeah, yeah.
Lego Batman was amazing. But as content creators, besides like doing things like for me, I do like especially my YouTube and Twitch, and besides that I do like graphic design. I know you say you were going to school for graphic design as well, right?
Yeah, that's my major in college right now.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. There's so many issues that we stumble upon, especially just being like YouTubers, Twitch streamers, and even like sometimes logo designers, video editors. What issues have you have to deal with being a content creator, like from the beginning? Like what was something that you had to deal with, like right on the spot, or like that developed during your career?
I mean, there's the obvious stuff that you kind of expect, and I think everybody is aware of, and it's, hate comments, stupid shit you see online. That never really got to me. Even when I was smaller, it may have bothered me more just because it was more intimate. Seeing one hate comment out of, 5 good comments would feel a lot worse than getting like 100 comments that are positive and one negative. So maybe back then it, bothered me. Nowadays, I don't run into a ton of issues besides just the real like serious weirdos you run into they're not satisfied just making a hate comment. They want to like dox you or find someone or like just try and like really get in deep and cross that threshold from the internet to real life and try and make things personal. And I've had some weird people who've just tried to go next level with their kind of hate, and it's like, I don't want to say scary, but it's always just alarming of like, wow, there's really people like that.
Yeah. I've kind of dealt with that type of doxing situation myself. Especially being on like like straight up online games. Like since I believe like the first, like no, not the first, but Modern Warfare 2, and and like so I completely understand that with that. Like, was there like anything of like like major things like threats, like besides that you've gotten like a specific threat that you've gotten that kind of scared you like during your career?
I never had anyone get like a
Ooh.
threat that felt credible or felt serious to where I was like actually alarmed. I think it was just, I remember one person found like,
Oh, I'm
I think it
sorry.
was my person.
I'm so sorry for cutting you off. I don't know what the hell. What the hell was that sound? Oh, sorry about that. I apologize.
No, you're good.
Please go ahead and my freaking alarm went off. That was for
No worries. Mine did earlier as well. Yeah.
yeah. Please, by all means, can you do that? Answer again. I apologize.
Yeah. Where was I? Fuck. I lost my train of thought.
Like the question was like have you like dealt with like any like threats or any type of sense?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've never had anyone give like a credible threat to where I'm like, oh wow, this guy is serious, or oh they might do something. I think the scariest, and it wasn't really scariest, more so just it was kind of a wake up call to be a little more careful and realize that like there's definitely some nuts people. Was someone found my personal Facebook page, which wasn't a big deal because I never used it. I only had it to sign up for stuff. Like I literally had 0 friends added on it. But seeing that person who I knew from the internet and knew was this internet person suddenly appearing on my phone in a more intimate way than they're supposed to, or kind of crossing the boundary, I was like, oh wait, what the fuck? And nothing came of it, thankfully, but it was, a good wake up call to be a little more careful.
Yeah, like especially like sometimes you can get like people contacting like close family friends or family members. That's one of the major things that is extremely scary.
Exactly, yeah. That was the main thing I was thankful for, is the fact that I didn't use Facebook socially. I just had it to sign up for other sites, and they found it, but thankfully, I didn't have anyone added. But that was my main concern immediately, was like, oh shit, who can they find through this? And thankfully, it ended up being no one. But yeah, that would be the scariest thing for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't really that much of a scare, since like things like family members, like most family members for me were like, because I live in a family members full of cops, so like especially the NYPD. Yeah, that it really wasn't that much of a scare, because like sometimes,
Yeah,
yeah, especially it's like, oh, it's NYPD, like they're fucking intense.
yeah.
Yeah, but as content creators, we have a major goal. Like for me, like I really want to try to be able to make this a career, so I can be able to, like, enjoy doing what I want to do. I love video games, I love making content. But what is your goal as a content creator? Like, I want to know what is OG Pure's goal as a YouTuber or a Twitch streamer, and what does he want to do out of this career?
I mean, besides the obvious stuff of, like numbers or financial stuff of just like, oh, I want to become like, a rich YouTuber, oh, I want to hit 1 million subs, like that. Yeah, and I think everyone wants that. But really, what matters most to me and what I'm focused on at the moment the most is just getting to a point where I can kind of post anything, or at least virtually anything, and people will want to watch it just because they like who I am enough to where they want to see it. I think the best YouTuber comparison I can think of, and it ties into one of the future questions, is one of my favorite content creators when I was younger was FaZe Jev, and he's someone who could post any game in the world and people are watching it because they like him. And I kind of want to get to that point where I'm not relying on not just Overwatch, but specifically toxic Overwatch. I'm kind of known as the toxic guy. I want to be able to kind of get away from that stigma, I guess, and be able to just kind of upload anything gaming related and have people enjoying it just because they like me and they like my content. So outside of numbers and stuff, I think that's probably my biggest goal.
Is there a possibility of seeing, like, because of like the content, because I've seen your gameplay, you're amazing, especially with Hanzo, especially some, yeah, you get some amazing hooks with Roadhog, you get like amazing shots with Ash. Is there a possibility of OG Pure going like straight up professional gaming, like probably join FaZe or like getting a professional team or something like that? Is there anything on that?
I don't see that happening. I appreciate the compliment. I don't think I'm nearly that good, and I'm not really focused on that as much at this point, because I'm kind of at a point of like, if you can reach pro level, that is really cool, especially if you can actually make it work and you can win. But if not, it seems like you kind of get forgotten and your hard work was kind of all for nothing. And it's like, okay, if you make it to the finals and you lose, people are gonna forget about you within like a week. And it's I don't want to be pushing so hard to become so good at the game and just kind of have it flop and it go nowhere. And I also think it's a lot more stressful, the kind of work versus reward aspect to it. It's not as satisfying. Like, yeah, I like being good at games, but the amount of time and effort and energy people put to being pro, I don't think I have the discipline for that.
Okay, all right, because I honestly, I would like to see OG Pure like on things like Excelsior, like wherever they want to go ahead and possibly put you on like an Overwatch league, especially how you play. I think that would have been dope.
Yeah, I don't see that happening anytime remotely soon, but I do appreciate it.
All right, no problem. So, what? Okay, you said you had your favorite your favorite content creator already, but like with your favorite content creator, I know there was a lot of other people that probably inspired you. Do you have any other favorite content creators besides the one that you just stated?
Growing up, I mean, I was always big into Call of Duty, and I think I started watching people like that. FaZe Jev, Ali A, T Martin, people like that who are, I think they still are big to this day, but were the biggest people back then. Those are the people I gravitated towards a lot. A bit more niche, but someone that I'd say inspires my content to an extent, or is at least someone who I got involved. Someone I started watching early on who I really enjoyed, and I think has had an effect on my content, would be Minnesota Burns, who was like a Call of Duty toxic trolling type of channel, which you could obviously see how it would be similar to mine, but yeah, his videos were just hilarious. I still think they're amazing, and he was definitely someone who made me see gaming in a different light. It's you don't need to be the best to be entertaining or the best to be watched. You can still just have fun and people enjoy it.
Okay, because like as I said, like I've always stated when it comes to like YouTubers, especially that you were probably one of my favorite content creators, probably are my favorite content creator, because I said like your content tends to like at least give me like some type of like entertainment, like makes me laugh. Plus is also the fact that I get to see amazing gameplay. So that's like a big combination of the two that I like to see, especially on YouTube. and that's what kind of makes you like my favorite content creator, or one of my favorite content creators. So once again, I appreciate that very much.
Thank you. That means a lot.
So here's the big question, and like some people ask this to me, and like sometimes like when I try to figure out, I can't give a proper answer for this because like I feel like I'm building insanity for it. Why Overwatch? Like, just straightforward with it. Like, why Overwatch?
That's a great question, and it's one I really don't know the answer to, other than a big part of it I do think is just coincidental. If you were to look at some of my older videos before I don't want to say blew up, but before I started getting bigger and kind of actually getting views or people were watching, my content was a lot more diverse. I was still playing Overwatch a lot because just at the time it was new and it was a game I was playing on my own a lot, and because of that I was making content for it. But I was also playing a lot more stuff like Call of Duty, CSGO, Rainbow Six. There's a lot more diversity, and Overwatch just kind of happened to be the one that blew up for me, and it's also the one I think I ended up getting addicted to the most. So if it hadn't, popped off and that hadn't been the one to be successful, I don't know if I would have stuck with Overwatch as much as I have up until now. But I also think on its own, the game just scratches a really weird itch in my brain that is infuriating and yet really, really satisfying. And that combination is just hard to replicate with other games.
Yeah, especially like with the the infuriating. That's definitely Overwatch for me. But
Yeah.
but at one point, to me, it's a fun game. I enjoy it a
Yeah,
lot.
at the end of the day, I do genuinely have fun a lot of the time on it.
Yeah, exactly. So like, it's like you get like the major issues that we get that makes us like extremely upset, because I've seen like, especially some of your facial reactions to like certain things, especially during the games, and like what frustrate you with some of the things that you like, I would say that you get out of the competitive games. So I'm like, yeah, I completely understand, like 100%, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's like damn, that he gets it, he gets it.
Yeah.
But with this, like I also hear a lot of different opinions about what Overwatch was before, and then like what it is now, compared to like when it was in beta, and then like, or when it, like before these characters came out, or before these patches. I want to know what your opinion on Overwatch is, based off when it first started and where it is now. What is a major opinion on Overwatch with that?
I don't think anyone can argue that it's in a better place. I think virtually everybody is kind of in agreement. It's just not as good as when it started. The reason behind that can be widely debated, and which hero you blame it on and which meta you blame it on is up to you. But I do think just as a whole, it's in more of a net negative than when it started. That's not to say it's completely dead and unsalvageable, but it's just not as fun as it when it started. Just kind of simply put.
Oh, okay, no problem. I agree with you definitely on that. It's like, based on where it was before, it's not, in my opinion, it's not where it used to be. Like, I think it died down a little bit, but otherwise I still enjoy it. But yeah, I completely understand in that area where you say that it majorly changed from like back then.
Yeah, definitely.
But one thing that, especially I'm part of like many different communities, like FGC, MOBA communities, League of Legends, Call of Duty and everything. But do you feel, out of any other community or any other game, that Overwatch is probably the most toxic game so far?
I don't think so, but a big part of that is just because I think it's kind of impossible to put one game as just this is 100% the king with no dispute. Because even within Overwatch, it's debated what's the most toxic platform. Oh, it's PlayStation. Oh, it's Xbox. Oh, it's PC. And it's like, I think it's really just the bias of whatever you play is probably gonna feel like the most toxic. And I'm used to Overwatch. It's what I play the most, so it's easy for me to say that it's the most toxic. But if I was a League of Legends player and I played that game as much as I play Overwatch, I'd probably feel like it was League of Legends. Same thing if it was Siege, if it was Valorant. I think every game has at least a somewhat negative community, and there are certain games that have really negative communities, like some of the ones I just listed. But overall, I think at the end of the day, they're all kind of just neck and neck.
I can see that. I could definitely see that, opinion on that 100%. Um, like for me, like I feel like it's probably the most toxic game so far that I've experienced. Uh, Especially with being playing League of Legends, TF2, Call of Duty, and like like even Fortnite. But
Yeah,
but yeah, I've experienced a lot of toxic things, especially in this game so far. Especially if you've seen like with some of the videos you've seen. So
yeah, it's definitely it's.
yeah, so
I get it. Trust me.
yeah, so I think you completely understand on that. But like being it's so toxic because we both of us have dealt with like major toxicity, especially based on our content or based on playing like competitive games. Why do you feel that Overwatch is in the state that it is in? Like what is the like main reason you feel like Overwatch is in this state?
Well, do you mean like as a community or the gameplay itself? Like, do you mean like why is it not as good as it was back then, or why is the community the way it is?
All right, let's start off with like with the gameplay. Why do you feel like it's the way it is right now? Like especially like I don't feel as if like it was as good it was back then. But why do you feel like it's in that state with the gameplay?
I think it's just really poor management from the devs. I think really not just broken, but even if they're slightly overpowered, but really, really boring metas were just allowed to go on unchecked for way too long. I mean, we still have double shield prevalent in Overwatch 1. I know the Overwatch 2 beta is here, and it's not as big of an issue because there's one tank and blah blah blah. But that's quick play only, and for now we're stuck with Overwatch 1 comp where there is double shield and it's miserable, and it's just kind of constant back-to-back things that the community really doesn't seem to like, and Blizzard seems tone deaf to. You got Brig, Goats, then Bap with Emort, then Double Shield, and it's just really unfun, overpowered, one after the other, and just kind of hasn't really stopped and it hasn't gotten checked, and it's gotten better, but it hasn't been fixed at all, or at least not completely, and it's frustrating.
Yeah, I can see it in that, especially with like major changes in that. But there's also major changes with like why like the state it's in because of the community. Um, what like why do you feel like it's in the state? It's in the state that it is in based off the community. I think it's in a terrible state in my opinion. But what is your opinion on it?
I mean, I think the community has always been in kind of a negative state in terms of just it's got a reputation for being negative. In terms of why I think the community might be so negative, I think a big part of it's just the fact that it's such a team reliant game that even if you are pulling your own weight or you feel like you're pulling your own weight, even if you're pulling more than your own weight, you can still lose through virtually no fault of your own, whether someone on your team is just really, really bad or full on throwing. It can just be extremely infuriating, doing your best and outperforming everyone and feeling like you 100% should win, and you just can't carry the same way you can on a game like, Rainbow Six Siege or Valorant, where you can 1v5 a team, and yeah, it's difficult, but you can definitely do it, and it's done. I don't want to say often, but I mean, it's not as uncommon as it is in Overwatch for someone to literally 1v5 a team. Like, that's a lot more difficult. And so I think the fact that you just kind of have to rely on your team a lot more is just a recipe for people to get a lot more mad because you're relying on 5 other people to do their job right.
Yeah, I can see that, especially where like communication can literally go downhill.
Yeah.
Yeah, like especially like sometimes like with me, like I feel like communication would be better with voice chat. But it's like even if it could go downhill with the text box, and it's like, damn, it's like this is gonna suck. You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden, like especially I see some of your videos, you see like some of the text in there is like, oh crap, yep, this is gonna be an amazing game.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, he understands. He understands. But here's another opinion that I want to hear from you, especially because I get this from a lot of players who are big fans of Blizzard. Like of all the controversy that has hit Blizzard recently, and being people who play a Blizzard game, like I play Diablo, Overwatch, I played Hearthstone, StarCraft, I played things like Heroes of the Storm, and so on and so forth. What do you feel is like, what is your opinion on the state of Blizzard right now? Because like, especially with all the controversy that it's hit, like, what do you feel about, Blizzard right now?
I mean, with the stuff that's happened, I don't condone or support virtually any of it. I mean, I think it needs to be said. The shit that's come out. I forget what department exactly, but I think everyone knows the controversy, or at least someone knows a lot of stuff that's been going on, and it's disgusting and deplorable and completely fucked up. And yeah, one sec.
Yeah, it's like, for me, like, it was very, very disgusting to hear, like, about all those situations that happen, especially from not just from within the company itself, and that's where it, like, also comes from, like, the community as well, like, overall, like, you like hear about, like, the things like of the toxic working area, things like, the major things of like, like Blitzchung, Brigitte's voice, Brigitte's voice actor getting death threats, and like, major controversies. And it's like, with that, like, the biggest controversy for me was literally the working area. I feel like that's something that that's very, very out of line, and that, like, it's like with things like that, it's very like hard to, like, want to go ahead and support something like Blizzard Entertainment. But
yeah, absolutely. I think that's definitely. I think most people would agree that's the worst stuff that's kind of come out about it, or come out about them.
yeah, and when I heard that Microsoft actually bought it, I was like, maybe this can lead to better changes.
Yeah, hopefully that's definitely the goal at this point, or the hope.
Yeah, that's definitely a 100% hope for that. But here's one thing, that because you mentioned Overwatch 2, because I saw you actually, like, play the beta, and I also saw your opinion on Overwatch 2, which a lot of it I definitely agree with 100%. But I want you to state your opinion on Overwatch 2. How do you feel about Overwatch 2? Like, for those who have not seen the video yet, which I'm actually going to put a link to that video so people can actually take a look at that. What do you feel about Overwatch 2 being someone who actually got a key to the beta? Like, when I know you signed in probably through, like, your email, or like through like how everybody did it. But how do you feel about the Overwatch 2 beta and where it's gonna go?
For a longer, more well thought out. Sorry, let me cut that. Let me try to think of how to word it. For a less compressed and condensed and honest answer, definitely check out my video, because I can't fit my 10-minute thoughts into this. But simply, it's underwhelming. It's not what I would expect after this long of a wait, after this many delays, after the content dropped on Overwatch 1. From what I've heard and what I've read, there are the dev posts since the beta and since my video coming out saying this is just basically to test the server stability. This is not supposed to sample everything you're getting, which I don't think anyone thought it was. But either way, it just feels like for the very first beta, I played it and very quickly was like, okay, this is cool. I like the changes you guys have made. I have no desire to play this in the long term. There's nothing here. This is a shell of a beta, and I kind of stand by that. If it really was just a test, test build to make sure everything was stable and the servers would handle it and everything, they should have advertised it as such and said there was this massive rollout on Twitch and everything. And for what it was, it just felt really underwhelming.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Especially, like, I feel like as if, like, that the beta actually just, they shut out a lot of content creators. Like, I don't see the reason of giving, like, the keys, like, especially where you stated that, like, certain people, like, especially big streamers like Pokimane, a lot of like other, like, streamers who don't play Overwatch anymore, got the keys for it and got, like, like knowledge on, like, what the developers are doing. I find that, like, very disrespectful to those who actually make content over Overwatch. So, like, I kind of agree with you on that aspect, and I kind of see like with like the beta because I was taking a look at your gameplay with it. I took other look at other streams of it. I was like, yeah, this is a this isn't really, this really doesn't look like something really 100% amazing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels like a major like repatch of patch of the first game.
Yeah, you summed it up. That's definitely essentially how I'm feeling.
Yeah, it's like, if this was the case, like it could have just been like, it could have just done like what League of Legends did, just like repatch the whole freaking game, and just keep it Overwatch, just the regular first Overwatch game.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
or if not, like at least give us like a damn expansion. Like if it's like an expansion, like give it like at least like a $30 like type of purchase thing. But this is a $60 game, so that's just my feeling about it. And I hope it comes out well when it fully comes out, or when console gets the beta, because like my PC is not really good enough to actually run that. But yeah, since I have a PS5 now, I could be able to do so. So I know there's a lot of people who want to do like content creation, and like a lot of people who are majorly big Overwatch players. I want to know, what advice can you give to Overwatch players, who want to go up in rank, or like want to be like, want to like constantly play the game like we do? And what advice do you have also for content creators?
I mean, for Overwatch players who want to climb, I'm definitely not the best person to ask, considering I'm hard stuck. But I think at the end of the day, just don't take it so serious. Remember that besides just being a game, it's a game that very few people take serious nowadays, even the people who still play regularly. Don't put your entire like mental health and just don't put your all into it when it really doesn't matter that much at the end of the day. Unless that's what you want to do and that's what you want to pursue. But if you're someone who gets stressed about it, then definitely don't take it that serious. In terms of content creation, I think it's corny, but just have fun with it. Everyone and their mom wants to be a content creator nowadays. When you try and force something, it's very obvious. Don't try and put on a fake persona. Don't try and act like someone you're not. Don't try and copy someone you've seen. Like, it's okay to be inspired, obviously. I'm not saying that, but really just have fun and be yourself and enjoy making the content, because that's the most important thing. If you're going into it hoping to get rich, you're gonna fail very quickly. The best thing is just to enjoy what you do and go in with the goal of just having as much fun as you can and enjoying yourself as much as you can.
Hey, that's I think that's amazing advice that you can actually give to like players and content creators. Especially with content creators, like especially stuff like this, you have to enjoy it. I don't think like when you do things like content creation, like Twitch streaming or YouTube video editing or making YouTube content, like some people just at least quit it because they don't enjoy it anymore. I think it's really good that when you do stuff like that, you should be able to enjoy it just as much as you're doing it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So okay, so we need to get into some discussions, me and you.
Yep.
I need some like opinions on this. I need to like have like some debates on this with you. I really need to know like what you think about this. So like, for instance, like we all have like a character we hate, a character we adore in Overwatch. Who is your most favorite and your least favorite Overwatch character?
Most favorite, I mean, it's easy. I'd probably go with Hanzo. It's who I'm known as and known for, and who I enjoy playing the most. If you asked me 2 or 3 years ago, I probably would have said Genji, and I still do have a soft spot, in my heart for Genji. But in the current meta and his current state and the state he's been in for so long, he's just hard to love because he's just so unusable, it feels like most of the time. So it's really hard to kind of enjoy playing him, but I do love him. Least favorite, for a while I said Sombra just because I find her playstyle very, very anti-fun, and I do stand by that. But I also think her anti-funness is kind of a necessary evil in Overwatch at this point, with the amount of heroes that are so ability reliant and can do so much. Having the ability to shut them down is kind of needed, even if it is unfun. But with someone like Doom, Genji, Ball, Echo, it's like, okay, I kind of get why she exists now. So I'd probably now say Mei, just because I don't find her fun to play against. I don't find her fun to play as. and she's annoying to have my team. She's annoying to go against. She's just not that enjoyable, and she doesn't quite feel like a necessary evil as much as Sombra, where it's like, okay, Sombra, if they have a ball, we need to deal with, go Sombra, easy, hack them. May, it's just like, okay, you can counter them to an extent, you can soft counter them, but you also just are kind of annoying.
I could definitely agree with you on May, 100%.
Yeah.
Like for me, like my most favorite is Reaper. I love Reaper. I started off as a Reaper main because of the fact, not just by like his kit, but overall just like the way he looks. I like the challenge of like at first when you had to like grab the orbs to like heal, but then
Yeah, the soul orbs, yep.
yeah, which was actually pretty fun, and like the death blossom and everything, teleporting to specific spots. I became a Reaper main and I fell in love with it. And then I also started with like doing things like with Soldier, Roadhog, but it was either Reaper, and then right now I'm still trying to be as good as I can be with Ashe. I love Ashe. I love the fact of like just literally throwing the dynamite and shooting it near all my enemies and doing massive amounts of damage. I think that's absolutely fun.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's very satisfying.
Yeah, but my least favorite, I think you're probably gonna be very upset with me about this, is it's like literally a mixture of 3 characters. It is May, which is number 1 right there. May is number 1. I hate her so much with a passion because she's not fun to play against, exactly. And then like when you get frozen, it's just, I feel very disrespected with taking the ice spike to the face. Second is I would say Genji. As much as I love Genji's design, I love Genji's kit, I feel like with like certain things in his kit, especially things like his deflect, like based on like how his kit is, I feel like that's very overpowered. Because like I did like a whole test with my friends on like everything like that can be deflected. It's like almost like 40 plus items, especially like with one of those items being molten core. Stuff like that, like being able to like climb walls, double jump. His dash gets restarted when you get a kill. His blade, the constant jumping left and right. So that's like my second least favorite character. And then my third least favorite character would be Tracer. Just it's like literally being out in, like, I would say in Long Island. I lived in Suffolk County, hot weather, like 90 degrees, and then like that place was ridden on mosquitoes, and you're constantly getting bitten by mosquitoes. That's Tracer.
That definitely, yeah, I can understand and agree with that 100%.
Yeah, that's Tracer. That's exactly why for that. And as much as I said, I love like the designs of the characters, I would say my most least favorite character is May. I think we could both agree that like May is so unfun with it, and we just want to just like literally this like just like I would say like high five the wall with our faces because of
That,
May.
yeah, that is a good way of putting it.
Yeah, so it's I like it's kind of weird for that, but I think a lot of nerf and buffing needs to like happen with the game. Like what do you feel like needs to be changed with the nerfing and buffing? Like, do you think like certain characters need to be buffed, certain characters need to be nerfed? What do you feel like that needs to happen within the game?
I mean, most obvious, Cassidy nerf. Nobody likes him. Nobody, I mean, no, I won't say nobody likes him. Nobody wants to play against him most of the time. They just find him really, really unfun and overly strong. Whether it's changing Flash or just removing his bonus health, just do something, make him a bit weaker at least. But buffs, that's tough. That's tough.
I think
I don't know
Genji
if
would
I'm
need
saying a
one.
buff. Yeah, I don't know if I was gonna say a buff, but I think Genji needs some kind of tweaking, simply just to make him more viable against a lot of the roster. There've just been so many characters added that don't even intend to counter him necessarily, but just kind of happen to counter him by being in the game and they just need to get changed. Or he needs to have his kit changed because he's just not nearly as effective as he was at the start, and not just because of the buffs not because of the nerfs they gave him, but because of the fact that all the other heroes in the game are different now. They can do a lot more against him.
Yeah, especially like I feel like with certain things they need to utilize the use of his blades a little bit more. Not just with his ultimate. I like the idea of shurikens and everything. I like the idea of deflecting, but I want a little bit more with the blades. You know what I mean? I feel like something that could be a change of that. But I also see that he needs to be a lot more viable, like overall as a character, instead of just like, you know, being worthless like on the higher ranks. I think like Genji could do a major change of that. Even though as much as I hate him at times, I think like it could be a major change for that. I think Zen needs a buff in my opinion. As much as he's a glass cannon, as much as the damage that can go about, I feel like when it comes to stuff like, you know, the orbs and everything, he doesn't give too much of an actual healing towards other characters. I feel like there needs to be a way for him to survive a little bit more. So I feel like that kick that they're giving him in Overwatch 2, they need to implement it in 1 before they do that. Like you've seen that kick. Please tell me.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah, the I
Yes.
don't know what you want to call it, but yeah, the kicks him away, the keep away kick, whatever.
The 300 kick, like the
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Spartan kick.
like I would say I call it the Brooklyn Timberland kick.
Yeah, that is definitely that is a good name for it.
Yeah, I would love to like call that. Oh my goodness, I would love to see like a boot like on Zenyatta's like.
I'm sure
Right.
someone will Photoshop that by the time it's fully out. Someone's gonna make some kind of green screen out of that.
Yeah, they always try and make some meme out of that. It's freaking hilarious. I would love to. I think I would say a lot of the tanks need to be buffed a little bit more. I feel like the DPS are doing way too much damage to these damn tanks. I would say like, you know, well, we've seen Overwatch 2 Orisa. Orisa's getting a major change. Orisa's deadly. Yeah, so I think that's pretty cool. I think like, you know, things like Diva needs to be buffed a little bit more. Sadly, because she does get majorly countered in certain areas, and she gets too kicked out of the mech quick. Like I don't know why. Like I tend to get kicked out of the mech really quick, even if I'm using the defense matrix. It's like something that I feel like that needs to change, and I feel like things like, you know, characters like characters that really don't have survivability need to get buffed a little bit more. Brigitte I think is okay. I just don't like the actual thing where we're throwing only 3 things of healing. I think
the armor packs.
yeah, it's just like you have to do damage to heal with her. Yeah, so that sometimes where she has to be put in the front line to do so. So I think that's kind of something that needs to be a little bit of a buff. But okay, so this is a topic that we both have to talk about, and I think especially like not just in Overwatch but in gaming in general. What is the most toxic experience you have had in gaming so far?
God, that's tough.
And it could be any game. It doesn't have to be Overwatch. That's gonna be.
Yeah,
we'll get into the Overwatch thing afterwards, but like I mean like in any game.
God, that is a tough one because there's a lot to choose from, and then also the fact that I just don't remember so much of it because after I make content out of it, I just forget it and it leaves my memory. But I don't know. I think I gotta cheat and put in gaming and in Overwatch in the same category. I think the most toxic person I ran into would probably be. I'm having trouble even separating them, and it's tough to even count it because it isn't quite gaming. I mean, it is gaming, but it's not directly related to it. But just the complete lunatics, I guess, cheating and saying too, that I've run into in LFG. I think namely the British one. That was just kind of the most. I think I spent like over an hour arguing with the guy on stream. I think that was just the most mind-boggling, toxic landfill I've ever encountered on the game. And like I said, I mean, it was on Overwatch, so I'm cheating. It applies to both, but yeah, I'd have to go with that, I think.
Yeah, I've seen that you had like 3 videos on that.
Yeah, there was so much I had to split it up because I couldn't make one video that long.
Yeah, I was like, there's no fucking way. Like I was like, that has to be the most toxic
Yeah,
guy that he's encountered. If you're making 3 videos.
it was definitely up there.
Yeah, I was like that has to be his most toxic experience so far. Um I know like in gaming, a very toxic experience, and this is actually it's actually like an actual face-to-face toxic experience. I was playing Smash, and my best friend, I've been friends with him for almost 14-15 years. We got into a physical altercation over Smash.
Wow.
Yeah, and then he actually like put like holes in the wall and stuff like that.
Jeez, that is insane.
Yeah, and after that we was like, yeah, this was terrible.
Yeah.
This was an absolute terrible thing. We permanently we left our other friend permanently scarred from that. And he's like, yeah, we're not playing Smash ever again. It was like,
Yeah, I don't blame him. That's
yeah, we felt so bad. So we're like, all right, yo, we got to try and make things up to him. We have to try to like, make him feel more comfortable and everything. So with that, we've learned to like do a lot more with it. We try to like practice like learning to get our anger out of it. But and that's not even the most angry I get with video games. I remember like when I was like until I was like 11 years old, I used to cry at video games, like get massively cry and shout and scream to a point where I developed fevers.
that's I was gonna say as a kid, I think it's a little different. I think we've all had it worse, but I think we all reacted worse, but I don't think it was ever that bad for me as a kid, but I would react a lot worse in general.
Yeah, but the actual good side about that was that I would miss school the next day.
Oh well, yeah, that's a good perk.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you got a fever, okay, don't go to school tomorrow. I'm like, yes. So I was just like, yeah, I don't have to go to school, so I don't have to do my project or anything like that. You know what I mean? So that was just like the good side and the bad side. But like, yeah, that was the most toxic experience I had so far. You stated like in Overwatch with that one, especially like with the British guy, especially because I know he was talking about like things like like freedom of speech and Joe Rogan and stuff like that. I was like, whoa, like okay, this went left really quick.
Yeah, there was a lot more to it than that, but yeah, overall, yeah.
Yeah, especially there was a lot more. I believe he was talking about like like I was like things like the Holocaust not happening.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, yeah, that's way too much. It's way too much. My most toxic experience in Overwatch was I think I sent you a video of it. I asked you about it. I asked you if it was actually a good idea to put it on YouTube. Would you
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, the like the predator guy, whatever word you want to use.
Yeah, it was a 20-year-old, I believe a 20 or 21-year-old kid, and he said he had explicit photos of an underage girl and stuff like that. I was like, bro, that's way too fucking much. Like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, that's
yeah
yikes.
yeah, I had to report it both to Blizzard and to like the local police department in that area, because that's in Florida. I'm in Florida. It's like, bro, that fucking sucks. That it was just massively like intense with that. And I was like, it just caught me off guard. I was so disgusted, and the people that were there, they were so uncomfortable, especially the one that was making the group of it. It was just so fucking uncomfortable. I think if you were there, you'd feel massively uncomfortable too.
Yeah, I definitely would have been. It's not even gotten to that point. That's just a crime.
Yeah, that's just majorly a crime. So I was just like afraid to put it up because you know how YouTube's algorithm is.
Yeah, I definitely understand that.
Yeah, so it was crazy on that. But I wanted to add in like two little discussions here. I wanted your opinion on this, like the Cassidy name change.
Hmm.
Okay, so I he started off as Jesse McCree, of course, but they changed it because of the fact that the whole allegations that happened, and it involved the person who is where the character was named after. Um, I can see why they changed it, but I didn't like Cole Cassidy. I thought I think they should have called it after the voice actor Matt Mercer, because like Matt Mercer is well known in the gaming industry. How do you feel about that name change though?
I fully support the name change and the reason behind it. I agree. I don't love Cole Cassidy. I can tolerate Cassidy because I know it's, there's the famous cowboy. What is it, Butch Cassidy? They named him after, I think.
Mm,
So I can get where it's coming from. I don't love it, but I get it. The only thing I've always found funny and do kind of enjoy now is the fact that his initials are now CC, which is one of the things people hate him for the most. Is his son is CC, and now his
mm,
initials stand for that. So I've kind of looked at it like that and just find it amusing at this point. But definitely not my favorite name change. But I also didn't play the hero much, so it wasn't that big of a deal to me.
mm. I understand that. I like the idea that now, like when you do his role, you can actually call it the casserole.
I haven't heard that. I'm annoyed. I haven't thought of that. That is definitely good.
Yeah, I was like, since Cassidy, I'm like, oh, it's the casserole. Let's do the casserole.
That is,
But
yeah.
yeah, but yeah, as I said, I think it would be good that you know, like that they did that change, and the reason behind it, it's understandable. So like it's completely understandable that you can't put somebody who, excuse me, who actually had allegations, and then people had the issue with the name. So I completely understand that.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah, it's just majorly intense. So the one other thing I wanted to do, because I've seen this a lot, especially like I think you probably know about this, or if anything, like it was a while ago when Break first came out, because you did mention like especially changes like with Brig and everything. Um, the voice actor ended up getting death threats, messages saying that she messed up the game and stuff like that. That she's a reason, like the game's all messed up, that the meta's broken, and then she got death threats left and right, from people. And there was the voice actor of Brigitte, who got in those death threats. I found that to be very disgusting that the actual community did that. Well, how do you feel about stuff like that? Like even in general with an actor, especially like actors from The Last of Us 2 getting death threats, like people Brigitte getting death threats, even voice actors or movie actors tend to get death threats where it's like not even in their control. Like what do you think about stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think most people would agree. It's just disgusting. Like, I think it's obvious. Everyone can agree it's disgusting and wrong. And on top of that, I find it mind blowing how stupid the people who do it are, because it's like you can hate the character all you want. Like I said, I'm not a fan of the character, but besides the fact that you shouldn't send someone death threats over a game, you're sending it to the wrong person. Like this person did their voice. They have no control over how strong the hero is in game. They have no control over the balancing of the game. The state of the game has literally nothing to do with them. They went in a studio, recorded lines, and that's it. They have no control over anything else. Say that you're sending stuff to them and blaming them. I'm not implying that you should send death threats to devs, don't get me wrong, but I think it just shows the kind of average IQ of the people who do stuff like that. They don't even think of the fact that the person you're targeting is just the wrong person, and it's disappointing.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with you on that. So we're coming in close to the this interview. Pure, what type, like, do you have like a final word that you want to go ahead and give to the viewers? Do you want like any type of advice to give to viewers, like on anything, like any type of like, you know, special thing that you go about to continue on your day or even your content creation? Do you have like any final word for people who are watching this right now?
Just try to have fun more. Don't take shit so serious. Even if it's negative, just let it roll off you. Keep on moving and just have fun. Enjoy life. Live it.
All right, yeah, that sounds like amazing advice. I'll definitely, even for myself, I need to take that advice a little bit more. But
I do too, yeah.
yeah, especially like I need to take that a little bit more at times. But I want to thank you very much for actually doing this interview with me. As I said, thank you very much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I appreciate you very much, and I appreciate you for, like, you know, taking the time to, like, you know, have these cool discussions with me. I really highly, like, appreciate you. But I got one question for you. When the hell are we queuing up?
I don't know, man. That's the number one question I get from everybody, and that's why I can never give a straight answer, because that's the question everybody asks.
Yeah, I finally got my ass back into Plat. I've been trying to get back into Plat.
At the rate I'm going, I'm gonna be out of Plat by the time you're at Diamond. I'm D-ranking.
Yeah, I
light speed, but yeah.
Yeah, I completely understand. I've been like getting into Plat, then getting kicked right back into Gold, and then it's just like a pain in the ass. I have to queue up with you one day. We have to set that up one day.
I'm sure we will at some point. Don't worry.
Yeah, definitely. But all right, guys, thank you for watching this video. This was an amazing interview with OG Pure. I'm going to put every one of his links in the description, from his Twitch, his YouTube, his excuse me. You also have TikTok as well. I know you had a TikTok as well.
Yeah, it's just OG_Pure.
Yes, and also his Twitter. By all means, go ahead and support his videos. Follow him on every link there. And also, I'm going to put a link in the videos that he stated, you know, from the most toxic experience, and, you know, in regards to like things like his Overwatch 2 discussion. And I would love for you guys to go ahead and hit that notification bell on his videos for when, you know, he gets new videos out, and then you can go ahead and check out his content. And once again, Pure, thank you very much for this interview. I appreciate you very much for this.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right, thank you for that. And remember, guys, definitely subscribe to the EHG community. Definitely turn on notifications for when we get new streams and new videos set out. Definitely join us on our Facebook group, our Discord channel. Also, definitely join OG Pure's Discord channel. Definitely go ahead and follow us on Twitter, and then follow us on Glimish. But this is Nikko from the EHG community, here with OG Pure. And with that, remember that there's always something amazing on the horizon. Thank you very much.